Bad.
Men online cannot see a woman do stand-up.
The comments are...
freaks them the fuck out.
Every time, and especially if I use the phrase white man in a joke, it triggers some algorithm, and the comments are like, okay, racist and fat. I'm like, pick one, asshole.
God.
So they like lose their minds, but then I'll flip to OnlyFans and they're like, you're a goddess, take all my money. Like, so the internet really, my brain is exploding. I'm like, which is it? Am I fat or do you love me?
Welcome to Wolf Family Therapy. The doctors today are Jamie and Tyler, and the appointment will start briefly. Thank you for patiently waiting. The brothers will see you now.
Is your given name Jamie? Like that's your birth name?
I was gonna ask you actually because I've never thought about it.
Mine's James.
Oh, and you are a James.
Yeah, they wanted to call me a unisex name.
Okay.
So they chose a male name that could have a nickname.
They wanted to do that? I don't know this.
That's what Mom said. Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
why?
that's what Mom said.
And why would they only do that out of 1 out of 4 kids? Right?
No. Well, Tyler's unisex.
Yeah.
Taylor is unisex.
So is Reese, actually.
I mean, any name is unisex.
And there are some boy Abbies.
Brandon.
Yeah, I know a really cute little girl named Brandon. No, I was actually curious because anytime I'm in a space where like someone has the same name, because when people hear my name is Jamie, they still associate it with like a boy's name.
Oh, but that's the opposite for me.
Yeah.
People always tell me it's a girl's name.
Maybe you're more feminine
Really?
and I'm more masculine, and that's our
And that's
issues.
what
Those are personal problems.
This is not
that's
a
why that name
universal
works
Jamie.
perfectly.
I was named
That's
after,
true.
though, my dad was James, and he passed away when my mom was pregnant with me.
So your name is Jamie, kind of is. Was that his nickname?
Well, no, he went by James.
Hmm.
Yeah, a little more
Just like
masculine
a
than
tribute.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which actually our name means one who replaces. Isn't that wild?
Jamie means one who replaces in what language?
I mean, the language of the baby name books that say those things.
Tyler means tile maker.
Actually,
Yeah.
Tyler.
I remember we did
Tyler?
a project in like 3rd grade where it's
like
like
a
find out what your
Tyler?
name means.
You might have mistyped your own name. Because Tyler is a word, and that means one who tiles. But Tyler is a name.
Right, but it's like, probably if you go back like phonetically far enough, at one point it sort of went to that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just what I remember.
I believe it, yeah. Jamie Pappas, so you're, wait, let me guess, Greek.
Pappas is Greek, yeah. Yeah.
Is that
Half
short for
Greek.
something?
Papadopoulos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like
Those
Jamie
Greeks
is
and their
like...
consonants, dude.
Papadopoulos. Well, on Ellis Island, and they just like looked at the...
Papadopoulos.
Yeah, just think about Ellis Island and all the Greeks coming over on one boat, and the guy that just opened the book was just chopped everyone last name. It's just like, no.
He ripped out the
basically
second
just
half
looked
of
at
the
the last
Pappas
name.
now.
No.
No.
This is all I can handle.
All right, next is James. We're just going to say Pappas. We're just going to go with Pappas.
And now, generations later, I have to deal with everyone assuming I'm related to every Pappas, and I have to just be like, I just say yes at some point. Someone asked a Saturday at our show, someone was like, oh, are you related to the people that own all the restaurants in Houston? Yeah. There's like a restaurant chain called Pappas. And I was like, that'd be like me going up to someone named McDonald and being like, these are yours, right?
It must be. It's the only logical connection.
Those are your golden arches.
Your last name is Burger King. Are you by chance related to the guys who started it?
You said Whopper?
Whopper.
Yeah, it's tough being born with a name of someone I've never met because people have so many questions about my name, and I try to like save people from the trauma conversation.
Yes.
Because I'll be like, oh, are you Greek? And then I don't want to get into that. My dad's dead and we don't talk to that side of the family. So whenever people like start asking questions, I like try to cut them off early because then they feel bad.
Do you want to stop doing that right now?
No.
Podcast is
just
over.
implying it.
Yeah.
And then usually if I'm on a podcast, I walk off. But that's just in general.
And the hosts are left kind of frantic.
Well, I was like trying to write a joke about this because people will hear the last name and be like, oh, are you Greek? Have you been to Greece? Do you speak Greek? And then I always like kind of play that. But then they will double down and be like, you never been? Why have you never been to Greece? Like, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, my dad's dead. He's dead. He's gone. I never went to Greece.
And they're just like, why did she jump to that?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting because being raised with just my mom, like my mom remarried when I was like 7, but my mom's Puerto Rican. So I'm used to just the Puerto Rican side, but I look more like my dad, I guess.
Okay.
So I get more of that. But I definitely identify more with the Puerto Rican family.
Because you were raised by, right? Like,
yeah, raised on rice and beans for sure. Like, that's it.
you don't talk to your dad's side of the family anymore.
No.
Was that a thing that happened in your lifetime, or was it before you were born?
Yeah, it was before I was born. We have some conversation via email. But
Wow, very formal.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Like once a quarter, just a quick check-in.
Yeah.
Dear grandma.
Yeah. No, I truly got an email that my uncle died, and I was like at a show, and I was like,
You
sad.
got an email?
Well, because I don't talk to them. I haven't seen these people since I was probably 3. They like
You scroll to the bottom and just unsubscribe.
yeah. Mark as spam.
Reply in all caps, stop.
I wish they keep coming. Yeah, but I know quite a few families that my stepdad's family is an email family. I've met like as technology has developed, some families have really changed how they communicate.
We used to be an email family, I feel, but maybe the older generations, but it's all text now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
have
like
several muted text chains on
that
my
have
phone.
like 30 people in them.
Yeah, that just go off all like once a month, or
And they never
it'll be
have
100 notifications.
any relevant information. In fact, right now there's one
Yeah.
going off right now.
Apparently,
do you know what the topic
our
is?
great grandma, it was her birthday today.
Thank goodness. How
Yeah.
old?
So
she would have been probably
One-
200
she's
years
dead,
old.
obviously.
Great.
But
Like our
you're
grandma's
her,
grandma,
like,
maybe?
dead birthday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been her birthday.
Okay.
Were she alive, which she is not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, do you guys have like a super young lineage right now?
No.
Our
she
great
has-
grandma, who's 58.
yeah.
It's her birthday. So we're trying to coordinate
Everyone
right
had
now.
a kid at age 10.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
it's someone who probably died 50 years ago. And our grandma was like,
And
it would have been her
who's in
birthday
this chat
today.
that is making it bumping? Like, who woke up this morning and looked at
grandma.
their...
Our grandma.
Okay, so grandma
Very
sets it
grandma.
off.
Yeah.
Everyone loves grandma, so she gets thumbs up. What
She
does
gets
she
the
get?
obligated,
She get-
no way, so cool responses.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
How many
Well, we
of you are in
we
it?
wished her a happy. I texted her individually. I said, "Happy birthday to your grandma." Because
I just texted in the
She
group.
sends you a thumbs up.
Yeah. She actually is pretty incredible at emojis for
mean,
someone who's
she
90.
What
nails
else is
the
she
fucking
doing day to day?
emojis.
I don't mean to be rude,
Just
but
texting.
That's what I mean. She better be good at it. If it's the only thing she's doing.
But
8
most
hours
of them
a day.
aren't, right? I mean, aren't most old people like? Do you have a grandma who texts?
No, she doesn't text. She has a flip phone that she leaves in her purse and gets annoyed when it rings too many times.
A flip phone.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There is
Why
this,
is she just is resistant to the technology?
Not
doesn't
really.
wanna-
I think like it's maybe it's a resistance. It's just like not worth it to her. People call, people show up. We all live close enough that I think it seems like a ridiculous concept to her to need people to text.
Yes.
So no disrespect to your grandma, but I think my grandma was just like, if you guys want to see me, you'll see me.
right.
Yes.
No, our grandma loves it. I think she's actually sort of kept up with it and has learned it very well. But I've seen her text before, and I feel so bad because it takes her so long to send any message.
Yeah.
She'll just be asking like, "When are you coming over?"
Yeah.
and it's one finger at a time.
Yeah.
Find the next
But like
letter.
they don't know any different. So as frustrated or as painful it is for us to watch it, that's just the speed at which she's doing that.
She hates phones
Yeah.
because it's taken like emails used to take like 30 seconds, and now
Right.
the same text takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, legitimately.
She goes, "Why does everyone say these are efficient?"
Right, right. She's like, this is making life a lot harder.
Would you go back to emailing just for her? Does she go on the computer?
Yeah, she does go on the computer actually.
What does she do on there?
Just
Google how to text.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's
Google
like
how to text.
Yeah, it's so quick too. She's like, how
what
to
if
text.
you put her iMessage up on her computer? You guys don't want to spend time with her. I get it.
I
but
can't think of how to do that. How would you do that?
If she has a Mac, it's just.
I
an
think
app.
it would be
doesn't have a Mac.
so like she wouldn't
Would she need
understand
a
that
Mac?
it's the
Because she doesn't
same.
have a Mac.
But she also wouldn't understand that it's the same like message. Like it would just complicate things so much for her. She's just very like one lane.
Right, so we'll stick
figure
to
out
the
how to
slow
do it, and then
texting.
just that's the way it'll be done forever.
Her finding an emoji must take hours. That's probably why she's so good at it.
she doesn't know that you can keyword search, so she's just going one
Looking
at a
at all of
time.
smiling
Where
face with
is
teeth.
the elephant? She loves the animals. She's
That's
just like,
cute.
where
She
is
does
it?
love the animals.
Yeah.
Have you ever accidentally texted your grandma or mom when you were texting someone else?
No, but I did text one time oh man, this was so embarrassing. On a vacation, we had like a a woman who my dad was dating for like 7 years, we lived with, was essentially our stepmom, but they never married. So,
oh my God, I know what
do you
you're
remember
going
this?
with. Yes.
Oh, no.
So I was 15 years old, and I was with
I'm already stressed.
my best friend at the time and my sister and our stepsister. And I texted my sister and my friend.
Well, let's also stop.
God. What?
We'll stop the conversation there. The stepsister is dating my best friend.
At this time.
Yes,
Okay.
at this time. That's what it was, remember? That's what the text was. Are you thinking of a different one?
Yeah.
So in it-
no,
you
I
did
think
it
I'm
twice?
thinking of that.
Okay.
Well, it did happen twice, but I think I'm thinking of the same one. What are you thinking of?
So Jamie is with my best friend and our stepsister, and they're dating at the time. So it's
Okay.
already awkward, and there's just like, they have like a very argumentative relationship, and she's just
no.
very mean to him.
Okay.
And Jamie texts me, our sister, and whoops, the third person is our stepmom. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who did you mean
Our
for it to be?
stepsister, probably just our family.
Oh, this is exactly yes.
And
You
it
actually
said-
remembered it a little better than I did, but
It said,
this is what
oh my
happened.
God,
Yeah.
our stepsister treats Ben so badly. It's like, it's cringe. This is just awful to watch.
Oh.
Then the first response back is, hey, Jamie, not sure if you meant to keep me on this message thread. If you did, totally understand. If not, just wanted to let you know.
My response, I did. No.
No,
That
Jamie,
was like the
Jamie's
nicest
I
response
freaked-
she could have given you.
She was very non-confrontational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
she
Jamie
was-
froze, and his response was, whoops, nope, didn't mean to. Never, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah.
That's so funny
Oh,
because
it's
she
brutal.
could have really,
And then I was-
she really could have held on to that and made you feel worse.
Totally.
Oh.
I was
my
reading later in like some room of the house just alone, and she
Yeah.
walked in and she went, "So, do we want to talk about it?" And I was like, "No," but
I don't
it
think your
seems like
text
we're
was that
gonna talk
bad.
about
It was
it.
like something everyone could see. I mean, it's criticizing
then-
her kid, obviously.
Yeah,
It feels like
yeah.
there's a.
and she went, she is kind of mean to him sometimes.
I didn't know that was a follow-up.
And like it was because I know her and she is like very non-confrontational to the point where she was like, "What is Jamie like angry at me?" I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Jamie, I'm on your side."
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
want to let you know. Can you believe how this girl treats
Well,
this guy?
It wasn't like you
Why
could
are
have
they
said
even
way,
together?
way worse
Yeah.
stuff to her for sure.
But I
Yeah.
do think she was also like, but don't like text. that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
right. No paper trail. Paper trails.
and then this is classic. Our stepmom, she said that, and then my dad was like really angry at me
For sending.
For the
from
text?
Because
her.
clearly
Yeah.
she had went
Oh.
and told him,
Yeah.
look at what this Jamie said.
Yeah, look at what Jamie said.
What the fuck,
Oh.
Jamie?
And then he came and like yelled at me.
I hate
later.
non-confrontational people that are secondarily confrontational.
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah,
I
through an
won't do it, but
intermediary.
I'm gonna set a fire.
Although genuinely, I know her and I don't
She didn't
believe
mean
that
it.
was her point. That's just our dad's interpretation. I
right,
feel.
sharing something that happened
She-
with his kids. and-
Yeah. She's
that's
not
fair.
confrontational, but also if she had something to say, she probably would say it. Like if it was
Also-
really pressing, but
Yeah.
he would be definitely take it upon himself,
Right.
even if she's like, "Don't talk to him," to go yell at me
Yeah.
for her.
Right. Whereas like your stepdad is like you call him dad.
I
now,
don't.
Right? You don't.
Never did.
Oh,
He tried to
power
ask me
move.
to. Yeah. No, I just was like, by the time I met him, I was like 6 or 7. I was like,
You're
what's
dumb.
up, Jack? Like, it was
Jack.
just, it was just.
And that's not even his name.
Yeah.
That was a power move.
yeah.
His name's Peter.
Yeah, it's Jackie. We're going, it's gender neutral. He wanted us to call him dad pretty early, but my sister and I were 3 years apart. So she was 9 and I was 6 when we met him. And it was just kind of like, you're a full formed kid at that point, and like someone showing up like that. My mom was very good and cautious. Like we only met maybe 2 guys she was dating, and she was like very seriously dating them at the time. But I was also 6, and my sister and her have like a very close relationship because obviously they went through like a very traumatic event together, and then I just appeared.
Right.
So they're very close. Like so, when my mom was dating when we were little, my sister used to get like so upset when she would leave the house, and I would just be like watching TV, and my mom would like bribe me with. My mom always made really good meals, so when she was going out, she would get me like a TV dinner because I would be so hyped to have shitty food.
Yeah.
Like all my friends' houses got like shitty like dinosaur chuggy nuggets. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
when she was going out, she'd
Like
be
a
like
Lunchables
yeah,
thing.
yeah, like something that's obviously not food.
Yeah.
So like that was.
You're just like, holy shit. Yeah.
Just
is
visibly
amazing.
inedible.
I saw someone write something on Twitter. It was like, you can't microwave 4 different food groups at the same time. Like it was just like, it was like
The
chicken,
back
a
of the
brownie.
package says, please do not consume inedible.
Yeah.
For display only.
Yeah, truly it felt like that. But I was just like very content, and my sister and my mom like were always way closer with that. So my stepdad and I bonded way more than he did with my older sister, because like he would take me to batting cages, baseball games, like we'd go fishing. Like he was like,
right.
But he
was
lived
like, if I
separately.
win
Like
her over.
yeah.
Oh, he lived separately.
So he lived in Pennsylvania when we were in Jersey. So we grew up in South Jersey, lived there full time, and he had a boat down to where the marina, like
Wait,
where.
and was he your stepdad when you were 6? Like he became your actual
like 2
by marriage
years
or
later.
Okay.
They got
when they
married.
started.
They just started dating when you were 6.
Yeah, they met truly the week of my 6th birthday. We were like out to lunch for my birthday with some family.
Oh.
And
They met at the restaurant?
we were at this like restaurant that's still there, and it's like you can pull your boat up to like park at the restaurant. So he came with friends, and my aunt spilled a bunch of sauce on her pants, and she like kind of jokingly was like probably making a big scene, and my now stepdad went up and was like, hey, we have an extra pair of pants on our boat. And she literally borrowed a pair of pants that they had on the boat, and that's how they met. But they didn't like, my mom was seeing someone else at the time. My stepdad remembered that my aunt owned a salon and remembered that it had a somewhat Spanish name. So he literally went through the phone book, found the salon's name, called the salon, and asked to like meet my mom. That's how like they wanted to
Wow.
date. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but he was single till he was like 38. So he had he had to do some work for
He was
him.
just like, I met a woman. Let's find a way.
I was going to say, because you guys have like obviously step-parent situation. Being a step-parent is hard. You're dating a person plus kids. It's like my stepdad walked into a fully formed family.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't that brutal?
Did he have kids?
No, he'd never
ours-
been married. He just really
Gotcha.
was like work-driven, work-focused.
Your stepmom joined a fully formed family, and our stepmom joined children and also a guy.
And they happened to
An
be
older man
Yeah.
who lives in the same home as several children.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
It's like a sitcom where if your roommate was a bunch of kids.
right.
Not your kids, just kids.
Right. It's pretty crazy, like, of a thought. Like, especially as we're getting older, like, don't you think that, like, people are going on dates? Like, I'm still on the apps. Like, I imagine, like, okay, like, in the next couple of years, like, all these people are going to start having kids and stuff and be divorced.
Be divorced.
Everyone's divorced. Like, majority of the people on the apps I see, because I, like, skew my age limit older, I'm like, holy.
Are divorced?
Well, I'm just, like, thinking, okay, 25 years
Do
ago,
they
this
put
was
that in their bio?
People put like single dad, and I'm like, oh, where'd the kid come from?
Yeah.
It just showed up. People put divorce. I went out like
Single dad once a week on Tuesdays.
every other Tuesday.
Every other Tuesday.
Yeah, being a step
Besides that, I'm
parent's
wide
hard.
open.
Were you guys? You were a tough little boy? Were you a good kid?
Tough?
Like rambunctious? Who gave the like stepmom the harder time when you were younger? Like,
No
who was
one
getting
gave
in
her a
trouble.
hard
Did
time.
because they kind of just stayed out of our way.
Oh right,
Like,
you
we
guys
didn't
weren't
really-
parented. I forgot.
Yeah, we were on our own pretty much. Yeah,
You guys both were like, what do you
my
mean
mom-
gave a
mom
tough
said
time?
the funniest thing last night. She was
Funnier
like,
than the plumber
because
note?
she's been listening to the not funnier than that, but she's been listening to the pod, and she was like, "Yeah, it's weird. Like I remember you guys being kids." And I know you now, but there's this whole period in the middle where I just forget. I'm like, right, because you weren't there
Oh
when it happened.
my goodness.
Oh my god.
She was like,
It
I
all
just
starts to
forget
make
all of high school. I don't know what you were doing. And I was like, hard drugs. That's mostly
because
what
we
I was
were out.
doing.
Yeah, we were gone.
She was like, I can't believe they gave you Oxycontin. I was like, I was a minor. You needed to allow them to do
Yeah.
that. They can't just give it to
They,
me.
meaning the doctor that you
Yeah.
were seeing with
Who
mom
you
in the
signed
room.
off
Yeah.
of on your insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It is crazy. And like,
I'm not blaming her for my addiction, but
Sure.
I
Sure.
yeah.
There's a lot of people to blame, I guess. Should we name them all now?
The
yeah,
Sacklers.
sure. The Sacklers, Martha Sackler.
No, I think parenting, like when you look back, like going from the app thing and thinking like these people are the age our parents were when they're having kids. Like, so my mom and stepdad had my little sister when I was in
So
fourth
they did
grade.
have kids together.
They had just my little sister when I was in fourth grade.
When you're in fourth grade, okay.
So basically with that 10-year age gap, my mom treats my little sister so different than she was very strict with my sister and I.
And then,
My little sister can do
whatever.
Per the off mic story, whatever. It has no sense, no accountability.
Yes.
And it's my stepdad's only kid, so he's always like, she's just a kid. And I'm like, she's 21 at this
I was gonna say, but that is a huge
exactly.
difference. Is like she's like a TikTok, like she's Gen Z.
Oh yeah,
very
I don't
Gen
know
Z.
what she's saying when she talks to me most of the time. A lot of time,
Really?
and she goes to art school, and I'm just like, if this person's gender does not impact the story, I do not need to hear it. Like she'll just, it would be like, she was like, oh yeah, I was with Tyler, like my cis het straight friend, and I'd be like, okay,
For every person.
does that impact anything you're about to say next? And then I feel like a grumpy old man when she's talking, just because the difference, and I'm like, oh my god, am I not I'm like, we got to find some middle ground, because sometimes she'll say stuff, and my stepdad will be like,
Oh yeah, he's lost.
well,
Probably.
he's just like, I don't understand trans versus sexuality versus gender, and she always has to like redefine everything for me. And
Yes.
they're open to it. Like my stepdad's a doctor.
They're just not
and,
going to understand, to be honest. How old is your stepdad now?
He's like, I was about to give you in reference to my mom. When he was born in 1953,
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
so he's like the 60s.
almost 70. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Almost
that's- Oh, he'll
70,
be 70 this year.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Yeah, good to
Nailed
know
it.
that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a pretty-
Does that
that's-
make sense?
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
But
okay.
that's going to be tough to understand trans. He'll probably, if he's progressive, he'll be like fine with it, but he just won't get it.
will never get it.
He's
You'll have to keep
progressive
explaining
and a doctor,
it.
so he psychologically and physiologically understands it. But when my little sister's doing the whole, and I don't mean to belittle or shame it, but it's like, we almost just, I want to get to a point where we just accept it, and you don't have to describe it every sentence.
I
like,
know, yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, oh, this is just a person. Like, if I'm not trying to fuck you, it doesn't matter to me, all the descriptions.
It's also like I can't imagine your family, like anyone is anti.
No, what we're anti is how long her stories take. That's just it.
You just lose all the facts in
And
between.
it makes you feel like, I'm like, oh my God, am I a Republican?
Yeah,
Just because she'll tell me this like nice story, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, can we get
It's
there?
not a political problem you have with it. It's a
No.
narrative one.
Yeah, I want everyone
You're a
to feel.
comedian. You need her to cut out words.
Yeah, I'm like, cut
There's
the
a
fat.
lot of
Let's get
fat
to
in
cut
there.
the fat.
Can we punch the story up a little bit about your childhood trauma?
Okay, next time you tell it.
Yeah. And my little sister, we're all very different. So my stepdad's family is very white, very Jewish. Like the way they like have family events is just very different. Like my mom's side of the family, everyone shows up 3 hours late. Everyone brings a ton of food, hangs out. There's no time limit. My stepdad's family, every holiday, every event is like 2
Here to
hours
here.
at this location.
Have an
Hello,
itinerary
goodbye.
for.
Mother's Day is our favorite, my older sister and I's favorite, because they read every card out loud.
What?
Yeah, I just had to get that out now. I had to share that because I love.
They read every card
Like,
out loud?
So I started
In front of everyone?
So I started writing jokes on my mom's card
Oh,
because
nice.
she had
This
to
one's
read it out
from
loud.
Gerald. This one's from
Literally.
Gerald, everyone.
No joke. They'll read the Hallmark written type part, and the personal note.
Well, I will say one thing that our family
Why?
does, or not like does, because there's no.
Everyone like defines love differently. I think, and
Yeah.
our families is like food and time together. I think theirs is very transactional. Like that's just
How good is this
like
card?
yeah.
They
yeah.
rate it after 4.
Too many
the side.
sparkles.
Too many.
Sorry.
The pull the string, the noise just keeps going. It's a little long. This one's a little long.
I have memories of our family doing the thing where like basically it's at a birthday or whatever. It's you'll read a card to yourself, and then someone will say, "Can I see that?" And then you pass it, and then they chuckle, and then they pass it to the next person. So it actually takes
My
just way longer. In
So
some
I started writing
instances.
jokes or like personal things that my stepdad's family, they're not like a silly family. Like they're not jokey. And so I just started really embarrassing my mom because I would write the
Because
most
they read
out
insane
loud,
things because she would have to read them out loud.
Oh,
or
nice.
she would at least just be like, Happy Mother's Day, and like look at me from across the table. So there was one year, there's like a dumb Zach Galifianakis movie that came out where he's giving a eulogy and he just says like, Dad, you were always a father to me. So I just write that in all her Mother's Day cards. And I vividly remember the first year I wrote, it was like, Happy Mother's Day. I was like, you've always been like a mom to me. Love, Jamie. Like, that's all I wrote. And she read it out loud. And my granny was like, I don't get it. And then they all had to describe a joke to her. And I was like, this is more than I could have bargained for.
Because
They
it's
can't
her
let it
mom. So
slide,
it's funny
yeah.
to say she's like a mom because she is
truly
one.
one of her daughters then proceeded to tell the story like that. And I was like,
Explain.
this is beautiful to me.
So now you're like trying to nail that.
Oh yeah,
same-
but now my cards just don't.
And
my
then the
cards
grandma's
get
like, I
thrown.
give it a 3.
your cards get thrown. They don't read them.
No, my mom will just like, we also like don't attend the same events anymore because my granny though, she's like very sweet and her memory is very good, but creative and like lovey things, not her thing. Like one year I took a photo of her and my pop-up at a wedding and I like made a frame and like gave them the photo and she said, I don't get it also. Like,
It was just
I
a
don't
picture.
get
I don't get it. And I
What's
was
the
just
point
like,
of this picture of us having a good time?
So it was one of those things where like I know they love us,
Yeah.
but our like versions of love are so different. It's like so culturally different. Like just
Do you think she's autistic? Maybe.
the whole family, the whole spectrum is provided there. My mom actually, this is messed up. She's gonna be mad I said it, but she's not gonna listen to this. Your mom will be mad at me for saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom
Our mom will find your mom on Facebook and let her know.
My stepdad one time answered the door to a neighbor and the neighbor was like asking something and my stepdad just walked away and he was just like so socially rude that my mom went up and told this woman that he was autistic just to like cover up for what he had just said.
Sorry about that guy.
I was like, but that's how talk about like the TikTok generation. I feel like everyone's just like,
Oh my
you'll like
God.
trip on the sidewalk. They'll be like, sorry, I have like ocular nervousness. And you're like, but it's like everything. You're like, no, you just did something dumb or you were a little weird at that moment.
They-
like
they rail against labeling, but they love to label
So
themselves and other people certain types of things. They love to fit people into categories.
the over defining of things
Yeah.
too. Like, and it feels
Yes.
like the generation like of our parents, which we all went to school with someone that was like,
You
he's just a little
shouldn't-
weird and we accepted it. But now that like if you're in elementary school and they're like telling you a kid has this, and this, he's going to get treated way differently than just the weird kid in the corner.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I wonder if
you
it's
shouldn't-
better or worse.
You shouldn't label things, but also, what are your labels, Jamie?
Yeah. Yeah.
I need
Can
to
you
know.
type them up in your
Cishet?
Yeah. Okay. Wrong
Okay,
answer.
slut.
yeah, right. Yeah.
It's giving slut. But I feel that like I went to school, like my school was had like a pretty progressive like autism program actually, but our idea of like what we don't know what we're all talking about. So like everyone thinks they're a doctor on TikTok now. And that's the other thing. My little sister was criticizing something she heard and I was like, you absorb TikTok how we criticize the generation above us for taking in Facebook. I was like, you just listen to this person.
Yeah, as if
believe
it's
it.
Just a
Facts.
random person.
Yeah.
And they're just making up medical terms. And I was like, our stepdad, an actual doctor, you don't listen to at all. But
That's
someone will
such a
get on
good point,
TikTok
yeah.
and just be like, again, making
Just
up
take it
like,
at face value.
yeah, or just like,
This is real. All that Facebook propaganda, totally.
when they're like, I can't make eye
blasphemous.
contact because I've like, whatever, people talking about having facial blindness and all that stuff. I'm like, or you just had to sit inside for 3 years when you were supposed to be in high school facing really awkward situations that you didn't. And then you got released into college and you're a little weird now. Like, let's call it what it is.
Yeah, you're kind of socially held back in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, that's fine. But like, let's accept it. And like, maybe everybody has some form of we're all different. I think we don't identify brains as just being different. It like has to be like a diagnosis. Like they're not deficits. They're just difference.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly. Neurodivergent, I think, is an attempt to say that
Yeah.
with way more words and to make it sound nerdy and stigmatizing.
fancy,
Yeah.
Doesn't neurodivergent sound like it almost
Shut
sounds
up.
worse?
Like I just want you to stop talking whenever anyone starts a sentence using it.
it almost sounds worse than just I don't know.
well, but it's the
autistic or
equivalent of
or
our
strange.
posters in elementary school that were like celebrate our differences. It's like that now, but to an extreme.
It also kind of sounds like a YA big franchise.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Neurodivergent.
Wait, what?
neurodivergent.
That's like the fourth in. Wasn't it Divergence?
can't make eye contact, and he's really good at puzzles.
The whole
Watch
movie is
them.
them just doing a puzzle together.
Watch
Get
them
sorted into
struggle to
group.
make conversation.
At a party.
It is wild. I just feel like I just miss calling people weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
totally.
it's a little
It's
weird.
also a label that, and by the way, weird and neurodivergent.
Yes, there are
there's
people
not-
that genuinely have things going on.
Yeah.
And there are things to work on, therapy, whether it's medical, mental, all the stuff. But I also think it's just been pushed over a little bit to make up for some social cues missing.
Totally.
Like, we're with comics all the time. Every time I walk out, I call Shaylin and I'll be like, who I produce shows with, I'll be like, what is wrong with this person?
Yeah.
And she always like takes a deep breath and she says, Jamie, everyone we work with is mentally ill on some level.
Yes.
Don't just walk out of the room. Just what we got
Yeah.
are just running the mic. I still check into the DMs that it gets. People are unwell. 5-paragraph essays asking us like why they didn't go up at a certain time, like things like just expect. And I always respond saying, did you come up to anyone during the night?
Let them know you were
No.
there.
The answer is always no. Always no.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Because if they had, you would have been like, all right.
no, I would have been like, get
Whatever.
the fuck out of my face. No. I would have, of course, talked to them. But when people are frustrated, wait 3 hours at a mic, and then text you the next morning, I'm like, you
Yeah.
were sitting on this whole time
Yeah.
instead of, hey, am I on the list? Am I going up?
Yeah.
Like,
You didn't see me passive aggressively looking at the sound booth.
truly,
Am I going
actually, no, it is
Am I
so
gonna go
dark.
up?
Yeah. So,
Right, in a pitch black room.
so yeah, comics definitely have this heightened neurodivergency, and everyone's up there for. I mean, just listening to episodes of your pod, you're like, everyone has their like origin story. Like I know that's like a thing now, talking about your villain story, your origin story, and what brings you up there. And I've been doing a joke about having daddy issues, and like that brings people.
You have daddy issues? Why?
I don't know. I didn't have one. Thank you. But
I
it's-
didn't have. But there wasn't one. Why was that?
those are lack of daddy issues.
yeah. My dad was too neurodivergent. He wasn't even there. Yeah.
Diverged so far from neuro that
From
he
the
had
planet
none.
Earth.
Diverged from Earth. Yeah.
Earth divergent was your dad.
That's a competing franchise.
He was just
Earth Divergent.
He's dead, and she's dead.
And together they're
still doing a
Not
puzzle.
parents.
Yeah.
Still doing a puzzle. You said?
I mean, every comic we talk to, like, I feel like I'm pretty open and friendly. And sometimes I'll walk away being like, what just happened? Like, I'll just come up to someone and be like, hey, how's it going? Yeah. Just say good. And like, a lot of times I'll be like, oh, I don't know, like my job sucks, like whatever. And they're either trying to do a bit or telling me too much.
Yes.
And I'm like, has no one ever said hello to you before? Because that's
They're
the sense I
either
get.
Wait.
doing a bit which comes off as weird because it's not funny, or they're earnestly trying to connect with someone, which comes off as weird and not funny because they're not good at it.
Yeah.
So this actually, I just witnessed this happen to Jamie a couple weeks ago, where a comic went up to her kind of unprompted and was
Yeah.
just like, "Do you want to be friends?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you? Let's be friends. I think we should be friends."
Really?
Yeah, and Jamie was like, "Yeah, totally. This is the way to do it."
Yeah.
Who are they
Yeah.
like really?
We'll talk.
Yeah, but it's also not the only time that's happened. And I think it is because like I will say hi to people.
Yes.
So people, which I will never stop doing. I think that's the normal standard thing to do, make eye contact and say hello.
I disagree, but go ahead.
Not with,
I think you should leer, stare, and otherwise make
Growl,
uncomfortable.
grunt.
and then DM 4
growl,
hours later.
Kind of like
growl, grunt, and DM.
I truly wish I could not do it. Like I wish
I know.
I could not do it because now I'm at a point where I've been deemed approachable by the mass neurodivergence and the questions and things I get. I probably call Tyler once a week to be like, is this normal? Is this happening?
the neurodivergent group.
Dude, the same thing happened to me in school, which was like, I was always like kind of nice to the weird kids, whereas everyone in my friend group was like really mean outright. And they, as a result, it was like always kind of fell on me to hang out with those
You're
kids.
you're king of the autism.
Yeah, I was the yeah.
I am autism king.
Another great franchise.
Autism King.
Autism king.
How many puzzles can he do? Yeah, I mean, and you don't want to like shy away from being a nice person. Like it's not a bad thing, but it does
No.
come with a lot because so many people are mean or not open to conversations. Like I wish I could be a little meaner.
Yeah, agreed. But it's good to be nice because
Yeah, Yeah.
Were you deemed approachable?
Think about a reason why.
Can't think of a reason, but it's good.
What were you gonna say?
Were you approachable like in like high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of kid were you? Who were you in school?
I mean, I was vice president. I played sports. I was
Vice
did everything
president?
of my class.
So kind of a nerd.
I was gonna say that's
No.
Was that a
actually
cool position?
No,
at
it
your
was
school?
like I planned the
You were
dances
popular.
and
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
it's just a
'Cause I was thinking that could go the other way too.
You were
Of,
just
like,
a
you're the only
figurehead.
one who cared about that, or you're just cool and everyone's like, let's.
You got
appoint
to do
them.
like plan events and like you definitely had to like partake in school things, but I wasn't.
Yeah,
I
you definitely don't want Autism King planning prom.
Can you imagine the theme of prom?
Instead of homecoming king.
Marbles. Wait, how is marbles just the just marbles? Yes.
And you make it
Instead
so
of-
no one can bring dates. Everyone has to go single.
you have to go.
You separate the boys and girls.
You have to wear Under Armour.
With the high turtleneck.
Wow, that sounds fun. No music. Too loud.
No music is so funny.
There's not Homecoming King and Queen. There's just Autism King and Queen.
That's what you vote on.
Oh my god.
And for winning, we're giving you this replica sword. It's based on Aragorn's sword in Lord of the Rings. And it's real.
I do a joke where I talk about how a guy I was going out with did ask me if I was autistic, like just middle of me talking, and that truly did happen, which was a projection, obviously. But then I realized recently a couple comics have been like, "Oh, that's your autism," and like using it as a joke, and I was like, really, like. Because this was like after the show and they were joking about it. And I went home really thinking about it. I was like, oh, I'm just sober at Mike's. And they think I'm being weird.
Yes.
Because I'm sober. So I walk
Oh
out
my
and
God, yeah.
I texted one of them the next day. I was like, hey, just gauging. Was I actually doing something weird? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay. So it was the 8 beers you had.
Yeah. Well, also comics, like, to have a normal conversation with a comedian is the weird thing to do.
Right.
They just want you to come
be
up
like,
with
"Hey,
some
how's
bit.
your day?"
Like Autism King. They want to do Autism King for an hour instead
wish.
of learning about your family. Like,
Yeah.
but really, truly.
Like, how are you doing?
True.
Like, through that
Asking
hardship?
someone how their day is like so jarring because they either have a day job they
so
hate
jarring.
or they like do. They either have a day job they hate or truly don't do anything all day.
Asking a comic, asking a normal person, it's a normal thing to do.
But think about every comic like I've ever said, "How are you?" to. Like it's scary to me to ask that. Like it's almost like because I don't know what's gonna come next.
It's like
no
that-
one
that-
says good. Thanks.
It's like 3 doors, 2 of them lead to hell. One of
Yeah.
them is like a fortune.
Yeah.
Asking a comic how their day was.
Yeah, because I genuinely mean just say good, you, and I'd be like, oh, good, like, looking forward to your set later. Please walk away from me. But it always turns into like a ribbing session or like a,
Yep.
oh, I kind of wanted to die this morning. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right.
Suicidal again.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha.
Right. And
I'm
then-
thinking of doing it though.
Yeah. It's never not with a bit of truth when
Yeah.
someone says that. They're like, oh, I'm just in this depression right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, no. Our lives are very different.
What? Oh God.
Yeah, and then it's my fault if something happens, I feel like.
Yeah. You do feel a responsibility.
For sure. If someone gives you a genuine answer about anything, I'm like, oh, man. I mean, I've talked to Tyler about this a little bit, but I just on I have an OnlyFans, and that's a majority of conversations I have. It's just guys. I've had guys message me and be like, you're beautiful and I love the Phillies, but I'm not a sexual person. I'm just looking to talk. And that's like a majority of like, I have people
The
message me.
OnlyFans messages you get.
Yeah.
Even. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's
like,
really interesting.
I get obviously sexting like stuff, but a lot more than I would have ever thought. Just reach out to talk.
Wow.
There's less sexting than that.
I'd say like if you looked at my messages right now from like the past weekend or something, it'd be like 50-50 of guys just like being like literally they'll message me being like, I was at Schwarber's walk-off game, jealous. Like, and I'm like, you message at 2 a.m. You're thinking of your OnlyFans, like the person you subscribe at 2 a.m. Like, and then I'm like, oh man, they don't have friends, which is fine because again, previous generation would go to a bar and talk to a bartender or barista, and you pay for that.
Right.
But they just pay for it online, and that's why I like said I've been doing a joke and I've been saying it a lot where I'm just like, it'd be easier if they just wanted to look at my body. Like it really just would. I'm
It's
like,
harder to maintain 40 friendships.
it is. I'm like, because then I have to take notes. I'm like, this is the guy who messaged me that he got in a car accident and couldn't jerk off for a month, so he just wanted to talk. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
It's like you're dating 40 guys at the same time instead of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of them, like some of them, if they are local, will like ask me on dates, and I always have to be like, "This is entertainment. Like this is a persona. Like you're paying to talk to me. You're an anonymous picture and username. Look at it from my perspective for 1 second. Like
Yeah,
I have
why
no
would I do
concept of
that?
you.
Yeah.
You don't actually say that to them, do you?
Yeah, I do.
And then they'll keep messaging?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't think of it that way. Here's money. Will it take my money?"
Here's more money if we
Wow.
can keep talking.
The internet is such an interesting place.
Yeah.
Because
My God.
on the one hand, you get the most heinous, horrible guys saying the worst possible things ever. And then you get good guys like that going, oh, I didn't even consider it from your
Yeah.
perspective.
I'm trying
I'm
to
glad you said that. Here's $50.
I'm trying to figure out this bit where, because my Instagram comments are horrific. Like,
Yes.
bad.
Men online cannot see a woman do stand-up.
comments
It
are
freaks them the fuck out.
Every time, and especially if I use the phrase white man in a joke, it triggers some algorithm, and the comments are like, okay, racist and fat. I'm like, pick one, asshole.
God.
So they like lose their minds, but then I'll
Yeah.
flip to OnlyFans and they're like, you're a goddess, take all my money. Like, so the internet
Yeah.
really, my brain is exploding. I'm like, which is it? Am I fat or do you love me?
Or am I a goddess?
yeah.
That's so
Split the difference.
interesting.
Yeah, so my phone can be a really dark place.
Crazy place to be.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the transition into becoming an OnlyFans creator and how
Yeah,
you
so
started in it? And
yeah, for sure. I mean, I always worked tech jobs and was like, I went to school for advertising, and first I worked at a job search site, and then I was working at startups. Really liked it, but I just found that I'm always just really good at client relations, and like I love making my clients laugh. I was never really super passionate or dedicated. I really liked the missions of every company I worked for, but I just didn't
truly
see
didn't care.
a place for myself. Like, it wasn't like I woke up and felt fulfilled by what they were doing. And I was like, what am I good at here? Can I make money off of here? And I like taking photos. It's a hobby of mine. I've always done that. And it was actually a couple like guys that I used to like sext for funsies were like, you would make a killing on this. And I was always like, nah.
They said that to you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I
Is
just...
that normal for someone to say to someone sexting them?
Yeah.
I think
You could make so much money
Yeah.
doing this? Was it people?
None of the relationships with those people were normal.
Okay.
There were people I was either like casually seeing or like I like taking photos of myself and sending. Like, I think it's a fun thing and silly thing, and
This is so hot. I would pay for this.
well, I think they were.
And so would other people.
It just like was heightened, and I think they like kind of heard conversations of me not really loving my job and wanting more flexibility to do comedy. So last fall, I just was like, let me throw it out there, let me try it. But everything when I did research, like took it seriously, like as if I was looking at a new job, and everything said the market was oversaturated because in the pandemic,
Right.
everyone jumped on it, and you have to market yourself. Like, you can't just search feet on OnlyFans, like that won't come up. You don't hashtag, like people have to know your link, like have to know your account.
that makes it tougher, yeah.
Last September, I made one. I was still working my last job and posted on Twitter. And I have a tiny following on Twitter, but sports fans, and that's what I post. Like me in jerseys and lingerie, and I post my bets. So the first day, I made enough money where I was like,
The
First
first
day?
day?
Whoa.
I mean, like $1,000 in 3 hours. And I was
What?
like, okay. And I put one picture up. It was like a free account. It's a free subscribe. And then it was like $25 to get the peg. And I was like, just because I was testing it out.
And you made $1,000?
Yeah. So I was like,
Has it grown beyond your Twitter following, you think?
yeah. So basically, I moved from doing that day. It's really hard to market yourself and like figure out what's going to keep people saying, because I won't get naked. I don't do porn. I don't do the things people jump like randos would follow me for.
Right.
So, but they like the aspect of sports. They like the aspect that I'm more like girl next door, kind of like it seems attainable for them. So I was still doing my day job. I would have my work computer up and OnlyFans up, and I'd be like, boop, boop, in a meeting, like, yeah, oh my God, I'm so wet. And then I'd be like, yeah, I'll have that email to you later. Doing both. And then it just got to a point where I was like really kind of unhappy in the job that I was in. And I just woke up one Monday morning and like went in my one-on-one with my boss, and I was like, because I told her I had like a side hustle and like comedy. and I just quit. And I was like, okay, this will like last me a couple weeks so I can focus on, and I traveled and like could focus on comedy because now I can just go do comedy wherever and
True.
get myself
'cause
places
it's
because I have the money in the
100% virtual
It's
too.
all on
Yeah,
my
that's
phone.
very true.
So I quit and I just haven't needed a job since.
Since last fall? Wow.
Yes.
And aren't you, because we've talked about it, you're making way more than you were with a day job, right?
No way?
I had like 2 tough months the last 2 months, but if not as much or more every month than I made at a tech job.
Wow.
Right.
But tough just meaning like hard for your new standard, not compared
So
to your day job.
I don't have a ton of followers, so like it is a time commitment, and I have to figure out how to like keep fans coming, and gross, and keep,
In more ways than one.
and just like keep myself marketed. So OnlyFans has pivoted to an OnlyFans TV platform, so they have an app where I can do longer format content. So I've been posting sets there. It's free, so I've been posting more comedy there, and like the show I did.
But it can get people to come to your account.
Yes, but you have to have a free OnlyFans account. So to post on OnlyFans TV. So it gets people on their site regardless, but I'll just advertise and be like, come chat with me on my premium account. So it brings them
gotcha.
over there. So it helps me because I'm getting more comedy out there. I'm doing more
Yeah.
just on camera work in general. And then it just brings them to making money. And people have been genuinely really supportive. Like I'll get messages of people being like, came to a show, you were so funny, like happy to support you in this way. Like,
Oh,
or
that's awesome.
They asked this way. And like, yes, it's like an odd dynamic, but a lot of my female friends like see my posts and they're like, I post that to my Instagram for free. And I'm like, cash out. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
Because I just like,
Yeah.
and people want the direct access to you and it feels real for them. But that's why I do keep those serious boundaries. But yeah, last 2 months were pretty bad on it. And I think I just was like in a funk, and it's like hard to just keep posting pictures of yourself and be like, feel sexy every day of your life.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like hard to wake up and be like, hot, feel hot, like take a picture by yourself. And like,
Yeah.
that's like such a weird concept. But flip side is every job I've had recently was virtual. So it's like nothing feels real. Like whether I send an email or I'm posting a selfie, the same amount of money's coming to my phone.
And what are they mostly paying for?
Private messaging.
like
They're
talking
paying
to you.
for that.
So,
it's
it
like
costs like
it's like her.
$25 to talk to me for
Like the
30
Joaquin
minutes.
Phoenix movie.
Yeah. Just like a little less romantic.
It's
Yeah, they pay like for private chatting. Like they pay for a subscription and they pay for private chatting and then they pay for content in that.
Okay, so that's
Gotcha.
like that's several things that you have to. Yeah,
Multiple
right,
levels.
keep up with. Right, but like one day if I'm feeling good or whatever, like you get dressed up, I'll take a bunch of photos and then send those out for the week or whatever.
to everyone or
No, I have like quite a few followers that spend like I have them in different tiers.
yeah.
So
Like what guys that are like
Big-
more frequently.
big spenders versus like who just likes chatting. Like I do keep notes on each person that's if they've spent over X amount, I'll like write actual notes about what they like or what they're into or like even what their like work schedule's like to
It's
know
like a
when.
client log.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I take
Yeah.
it very seriously because it's like I want to keep doing this because it gives me so much flexibility. Like I was having such a hard time doing a 9 to 5 and writing for comedy.
Yeah.
Because I would just wake up, go sit in my little desk,
Oof.
open my one little computer, and then I'd be like, okay, computer's done, time to be creative. Like
Ugh.
nothing just happened to me.
I do not like that.
Yeah,
feeling.
and then your jokes are just like, you guys been on a Zoom today? And then you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
So, it's given me both flexibility.
But now your jokes are you guys send private messages to guys who are paying $50 for them today.
Yeah. Well, I was saying I have been trying to write this bit about how people don't know how to have small talk with me anymore. Because like usually when you see people, you're like, hey, how's it going? How's work? Like no one wants to talk to me about work. Or
They're
they want to
scared.
ask too many questions. Yeah. It's just like my family fully knows everything. Like when I fully quit my job, I told them, I showed them, like I showed my mom what I was doing. My stepdad's aware. Like my stepdad called me the other day and he was like, this video of you on OnlyFans TV, these jokes are old. And I was like, wait, what? And he's
Like,
like,
why are you
yeah,
searching
I
for
went
that?
on OnlyFans TV to see your, like, cause I've been posting the interviews and stuff.
These jokes are
And I was like, yeah, that's from a show a while ago. I was just like testing it out. And he's like, I figured. And I was like, thanks for watching. Like, but I appreciate, but that's how supportive and open they are. They're not like, oh, ashamed of this. Cause like you're either whoring yourself out for a corporation or for myself.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, posting your stand up is it feels different. I mean,
Yeah, they want that
it's
though.
cool. That's really cool.
A lot of guys will message me and be like, "Oh, do you post longer sets here? Like, I'm looking to see more comedy." Like,
Do you think because you don't do like straight up porn that keeps them more interested in like
yeah,
you?
I've been saying this a lot too because it's like, once you show whole, like you can't come back from that. Like once that's the level of content you're putting out, and like no shame in the game. If you have enough followers, you're making enough money that's what you want to do, and you don't want to do the sexting and putting time into it, and you have enough people that want to see you do whatever you're doing every day, great. But for me, I'm like, I don't want to. That's not for me in general. Like I don't feel comfortable doing that, and I'm making enough money where I'm comfortable now. It's not the lane I want to go in.
Yeah, it would be weird if you were posting straight porn and people were like, "Did you see Bryce Harper's double yesterday?"
I mean, close enough. I'll post like a sexy pic. You know, like sometimes I asked you that question about like what's the worst sex you've ever gotten. Like I fully like posted a pic that I thought was hot, and like a guy will buy it and he'll be like, "Bryce for the win," and I'm like, what about my boobs?
Why can't anyone?
Yeah, it's definitely unique.
Appreciate
like,
me for my body.
That's so
yeah,
interesting.
truly, because my sister and her husband are like very business oriented, both work in finance, and they had a lot of questions. Like I was the most scared to tell my older sister, just because she's very self sufficient, financially independent, all the things. And their questions were valid. It was like, what happens when you want to go get a job again? Like, what happens when you do want to go back to tech? What happens when you apply? And I was like, I don't want to work for a company that downplays another job. Like, what is the judgment here? Because first off, if they saw any of my content, they had to pay for it. Someone had to pay for it and see it. So, and then if that impacts any kind of job I'm doing, the gap looks like my LinkedIn right now just says stand-up comedian because I was working on so many startups, I had to change my LinkedIn.
And can you fire someone for doing that?
Depends on the job. Some people are getting fired for it, but it's like teachers,
Really?
cops, like it's like state jobs and things like that.
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
read about a
But-
cop that got fired for it.
Yeah, but
Well, teacher is tough because then what if your student has your
and
OnlyFans?
technically you have to be 18 and over to like be on it, and you have to put in a credit card and all the things. Like,
And it's
they're all-
pretty impossible to bypass that.
Yeah. I guess it depends. Like the people I worked with, I told them before I left, some people at my company, and the engineers were like, "Oh, when you need to outsource like people to send messages, please contact us." Like they were all on board for creating, because I worked in AI, they were down for creating like chats for me.
Oh, interesting.
But I just went on Etsy and like these women will sell like scripts, like sexting scripts. So you can just like learn how to sext and just like
Wow.
scripts so you don't have to write anything. I use it as like improv. I use it because I say stuff on there that I would never say in real life.
Yeah.
Like, let me test out this sext.
Oh, I say wild stuff on there and I'm like, I'll be just so grossed out by myself. Like not even wild like that dirty, but like just calling people daddy and different stuff.
I'm wondering.
Sure.
I'm wondering.
Sure.
Like, if we were to start an OnlyFans, because
Who's we?
you
Why
and
is
I,
there a we here?
you and I, because
Why would we start an
Okay, I'm
OnlyFans?
going to explain. Kevin can attest to this. We get so many comments on the YouTube about our feet, and because like when we record at
Wait, so you should put this one behind a paywall because my feet are out here.
Oh,
are
people
they?
are gonna love that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We have a large foot fetish following for some reason.
We've gotten comments like, "You guys got to do a tickle video. When's the tickle video?"
Someone just
coming
asked me
out?"
this week if I'm ticklish on OnlyFans.
What's that about?
I'm not a fetish expert, although I've been on OnlyFans for a bit now. I get asked things every week that I'm like, I'm Googling myself. Because I'm not super hip on the porn terms either. So they'll message me things that I'm like, I don't even know what you're asking for.
Yeah.
We had someone suggest a table big enough so that everyone can put their feet up and wiggle your toes more. That was one we got a lot.
And you wear sneakers every time?
No, we usually wear socks. In fact, Jamie, we should probably take our.
No.
Yeah.
Why are you giving them what they want?
Absolutely not, Tyler.
No.
See, toes are out. You can't
Do
put that
not
back
wiggle
in.
your
This is
fucking
like
toes.
showing. This is the equivalent of you showing hole right now.
This is for free, Ty.
Right. We're gonna entice
We have
them
to
and
start
then-
an OnlyFans.
Can you
for
crop
to...
this video differently?
Yeah, I can do that.
Good.
No joke. Can you keep mine out? I don't show feet for less than $100.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Are they
same.
in the frame right now?
You just.
No, they're not.
You should,
Oh, they're not in the
amazing,
frame.
perfect. You can just blur them out the whole time.
What is that?
I just look like a mermaid.
Blur them out and make it like sparkly and
Well,
blue.
Is any of this behind a paywall? You should get it going if the feet people are asking for
The
it.
feet people are cheering.
Is there
for
something
it.
for like brothers and feet? Is there something there?
Oh boy!
I asked you that when
I'm
I know,
sure there is.
I know
but
full well there's a market for everything because this
For-
is what people have been trying to tell me lately. They're like, "Don't you feel so empowered like by doing this?" I'm like, "Yes," but on the other hand, men pay to see photos of dirty feet. So like, how empowering is it? You know what I mean? Like,
The
what do
one
I-
time someone commented about how dirty Jamie's socks were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, I can smell it through the screen. I don't even
Who
know if
said
it was
that?
a good thing or a bad
the
thing.
next was like,
but
"I'm so hard."
Jamie needs to put his through the washer. Also, I'm so wet right now.
I actually had a dream that like 5 comics subscribed to my OnlyFans the other night, and I like
Is that
couldn't
real?
stop it. Only one comic I know of has like signed up with a full name. and
How does
stuff.
that feel?
Did they
Ask
like?
his wife, I guess.
No way.
Did they like do the messaging?
No, so it came up. I only think it was for sure him because like it's a fairly generic name, but
Manny Brown?
do not.
I can't believe it. Emmanuel
No, it was like
Logan
a
Brown.
guy who had like DM'd me
Formerly
by
Frank?
accident that day.
Formerly Frank.
It was Frank. Yeah, that's his handle's Frank Brown. Yeah, I mean, I had a friend's ex-boyfriend follow me and then buy something, and I messaged him because I knew he had just gotten engaged. So I said that money should have gone to your wedding, and then he blocked me.
Oh shit!
It was so weird.
Wow, you're out here really roasting your.
I had
You
another
gotta
guy
think that's
subscribers.
that's a loss right there.
Is
That's
it?
potential. What if I don't know?
because no, some guys will say that when they're like, "Oh, you're missing out on a lot of money not doing nudes." I was like, "I'm not missing out on your $20. Like, relax."
Yeah.
I'm like,
People that are already subscribed to you will say that.
yeah, will
but
message
that's
me
kind of
and like
hilarious.
give me feedback and stuff, and I'm like, hey, I appreciate the feedback, but if there are plenty of content creators that give you what you want in your budget is also what I say, because I'm like, this isn't it. There's thousands of people out there.
Wow, get fucked on. I bet they enjoy that. You say that.
When I started, I would do roasts. Like, you could pay $50 for me to roast them.
Really?
And they would like give me a little information about themselves, and I would just go.
Oh, that's
to
be
town.
on camera or
Wait, you
just
don't do
type?
that anymore? That's
type.
fucking awesome.
I just do it all the time now
Okay.
because they just
Just
say
in
dumb enough
messages.
stuff where I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
You
Like
can-
some
yeah.
guy asked me what my bra size was, and I was like, talk about autism, King. I was like, do numbers and letters like get you off? I was like, you don't even know. I literally said, why did you ask that? Like, do you
Yeah.
have a bra fetish? Do you make bras? Like, I was like, honestly, depending on the time of the month, my bra size is going to be different. Like, what do you want to hear about? And he was
Yeah.
like, I don't know why I asked that.
I
I
think
love
he
you
was
dunking
trying
on these fools.
I think he was trying to sext you.
Well, no, but you can see photos of me in lingerie.
Which
and
is
he's
why
like,
it doesn't make sense to ask.
Right, like to be
yeah.
like, I should have been like, what do you think?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
said, like, yes, a lot of them don't know how to sex. So I'll be like, do you want me to take lead?
These guys
like,
don't know how to sext.
And I think autism queen is very different than what you are, which is queen of the autistics.
Thank you.
True.
you.
That's a very good
That's how I feel on this
distinction to
couch
make.
right now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a big learning experience. And I think I have more empathy for a lot of men in this country who like grew up at a time where masculinity is so toxic for them and they don't really have a setting where they can share feelings with people. Like some guy messaged me the other day and he was like, I just said, hey, like what brought you to my page? And he was like, I'm actually in the hospital right now. And then I was like, I was just like, hope you're getting better or something. He's like, yeah, I just got surgery, blah, blah. And I was like, and you couldn't text someone like, hey, I'm bored in the hospital, come visit me? Like he like was looking for companionship
Yeah.
after like, and he had a hip surgery. So there's no movement down there right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. So sometimes it is like kind of sad. Like it's definitely emotional. It takes an emotional toll for sure.
Yeah, it isn't.
Didn't mean to bum you out.
Yeah, this is why we brought Jamie Pappas on. The number one discriminated group in America right now is men.
Yeah.
Straight
And we
man.
just want to get the word out.
I'm just saying I have empathy and understand why they shoot up schools. They don't learn how to talk to people at an early age. And when you're an angry little boy, that's just, you get the boys will be boys, but no one actually sits there and talks to you about like what's going on and like what's
Yeah.
making you that way. And then those people become adults and they never really formed a social bond with anyone and really think bartenders are.
It's a good point, Jamie. It's a really good point.
And some of them start doing hard drugs during those years.
Listen to me.
Some of them black out at very formative years too. And then you come
Yeah.
back in and you're like, I have empathy for it, but I also think that they can be held accountable. And I think guys will message me, like, if I say something just honest, they'll be like, wow, I didn't need the attitude. And I'm like, there was actually no attitude. Like, you're insecure about what I said. So I'll say that back to them too, because they'll say, you don't have to be so sure of me or whatever. And I was like, that was a fully formed sentence, like noun, verb, adverb, I got you. And they just always take it personally. And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, no one has ever like called you out. Some guy was like, oh, are you really a Philly sports girl? And I said, first, I don't know what that means. And also not a girl, a woman. And then he like obviously didn't message me. Then a week later, he's like, hey, I've been thinking about you all week. I'm so intrigued. No one has ever called me out the way you did, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy moly. No one called you out? I was like, I just said that I wasn't a girl.
This is like a 35-year-old probably.
Yeah. Like I'm just like, ugh. Just the word, I know, but we just associate stuff. Like men can't say the word woman. And I will say that to them all the time. They'll always say like something girl. And I'm like,
Well, girls want you to say the word woman, but it's gay.
yeah, it's so gay.
Right.
It's so gay.
The thing with the word woman is it makes me gay to say that
Yeah.
or lady.
Right. You're like, I met this woman today. Gay? But
It actually is like that.
But if
is
you're like, I was
interesting.
hanging out with this girl, when you
girl.
say that to me, I picture like pigtails on the playground. They're like, I was with a girl. But
really
but we
interesting.
have the words to say guy and man. There's no slang equivalent to woman because you say lady, kill yourself. There's no, it goes girl to woman. There's like nothing there.
That's
We say
interesting.
guy, guys, and it became gender neutral because there's no woman equivalent to that.
That's
And
so
just because
interesting.
no one says gals.
Yeah. Or you do, you're gay.
Gals.
Hey, gals.
Hey, gals.
Like, yeah, I went on a date with a gal this week. Yeah, but I get to say guy because I'm like, most of the guys I'm not going out with are men. But that's the society part of it.
Well, it's also
Right.
whenever there is a term in between woman and girl, like gal or broad, it just becomes an offensive term.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
yeah, for
guys
sure.
use it like I was with this broad to like disparage a woman.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the way they say
right.
it.
The words we have for women are all negative in our society. So
Yeah.
even saying woman is hard for people.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So
Because that's,
we hate women is what it is. Like,
Right.
it's just like we're
But like woman to man, that's like the most equal term you could give someone. So
Right.
instead it's like, let's just avoid the term completely.
So we don't do it at all. But it's like, you know, they're saying don't say hey guys, you're supposed to say something gender neutral. But
Hey y'all.
folks, like what? And it just like widens that
Howdy,
gap.
y'all.
It's also reminding me like how people when they're trying to be respectful on OnlyFans, like the word breast, like there's no. It's like reminds me of that jump. You go like chest.
Do people
breast,
say
like,
that?
Boob, tits. Guys will say breast thinking they're like, but they'll say the most graphic thing, but include the word breast. It'll be like, I want to do bleep to your bleep to your bleep bleep. And then on your bleep, and I'm like, what? And then they'll include breasts, and I'm like, thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
This wasn't demeaning at all.
Yeah, it's our language is tough because we all associate something with it, and it's
That's-
definitely really impactful.
Wow, that's really true. What do you picture when I say guy? Like what when I say guy, what do you
Literally a cartoon version of Tyler.
Tyler? Yeah.
Damn it.
Tyler is
Damn
a
it.
good
Right?
Tyler
like
is a good
6,
picture.
What are you? 6 whatever. Like this is what I picture when I hear guy.
Because this is the issue, I think, in our culture is people have different
Tyler?
understandings of guy,
Right.
and some people picture Tyler, and he's the worst. No, but I
just
think
like-
it's like some people picture when I say guy, some people picture Joe Rogan, and then other people when I say guy, they picture a dude in Bushwick who only eats like celery
He's just
stalks,
a guy, yeah.
and like looks like me, like minus 20 pounds, like an
Yeah. And,
Like long
emaciated
hair, bigger beard.
with like a tote bag from NPR.
Yes.
Well, there's definitely something to that because then you say like man, like big, strong man, like you should be a manly man. Like that's associated with like physical attributes, I'd say, but also like, oh, you're not man enough. Like we use that word also in a different way.
Well, even like offensive
Yeah.
terms, there's like, for a guy, there's what? Douchebag?
Dick, asshole.
You're just naming
Okay.
body parts.
Yeah, just naming body
Right, but
parts.
then for
That's what you call
a woman,
guy.
it's like bitch, cunt.
Whoa, whoa, Tyler!
Mexican.
Oh my gosh!
Dirty
You
whore.
can cut that, right? You can cut that because you were the only one that heard it.
Yeah, I heard it.
Mexican,
I just
I heard
didn't
it.
address it.
Yeah,
Dirty
there's no.
whore, just listing them. No, keep going. I want to hear you finish this list.
Yeah.
Well,
We
I feel
don't-
like, but my point is, I feel like they're worse for women.
Don't go to the broader
Yeah.
point. Go to the specific words on the list.
Okay, stanky pussy. All right, Jamie Pappas, thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Oh
Smelly
my God, thank you. This has been an amazing day for me.
This was a really good episode. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining
thank you
us.
for doing it.
Thanks.
Where can the people find you?
Yeah.
Where am I looking? Right there.
Camera.
Yeah.
Camera,
On social media, my Instagram is my full government name, Jamie Amalia Pappas. OnlyFans is Go Birds, babe.
Hell yes.
Thanks, guys.
Go Birds. Thank
Where
you
can
for
we
joining
find
us.
you? Do you do that?
We do.
Us?
Yeah, every episode. Just in case we still don't have all of you following us
Press
on
next to
Instagram.
rewind.
I bet you not a lot, but some of these people don't follow either of us, which is weird.
Yeah, well, they're just waiting for the feet.
Well,
OnlyFans to pop off.
yeah, follow OnlyFans. The boys are putting out their feet reveal soon.
That's what it's called. The
Wolf-
boys are putting out their feet reveal soon. That's our handle on
Wolf Brother
OnlyFans.
foot reveal.
Yeah.
Foot reveal.
And we're gonna have a spin-off Wolf Toes.
It's just the toes.
Come get cozy, boys.
Cozy boys. Jamie, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you both.